Okay. We'll call the meeting back to order. We have been in closed session and happy to come out and welcome everybody tonight to our the School District of Amery's March meeting. And we will begin with our Spotlight in Education. Mr. Benson, were you going to mention a couple of words on this?
Sure. Just this past weekend, we were lucky to have our regional DI competition, Destination Imagination. It's one of our real premier gifted and talented programs where you see kids that have to apply math and science and drama and art all into one big show. And we had 4 teams that really had some success. 2 teams from the middle school, 1 from the high school, and 1 from the intermediate school. We have 2 teams going on to state, the intermediate team and the high school team. Today we have 1 team from the middle school that's going to come and present for you so that you can get a better idea of what they're all about. And so what we're going to have to do here in a few minutes is go meet their coaches, Beth Carlson and Jessica Fox, and then they're going to introduce the kids and what this is all about. But we didn't have enough room in here to set it up, so we have to move to their location. So I guess we'll pause the camera and head in.
Okay, well, we will take a quick adjournment and or a recess and meet back in the entryway.
Okay, so I'd like to introduce to you They've Got Skills, who competed in last week's regional competition in Baldwin. So they performed in the Top Secret Challenge this year. So they had to create a story about a secret mission, and during that secret mission they had to have a disguised character who revealed themselves during the performance. They also had to encrypt and decrypt 2 different messages during their performance. One which you'll see live, that happens during the performance, and that's considered an instant encrypted message. And then the other will happen, it is incorporated into their story. The last thing they had to do is they had to create a gadget that looked like an everyday device that performed a special task. So that's what you'll see from They've Got Skills. Ready? Or They Got Skills.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so introduce yourselves and we'll get going.
My name is Sophia. My name is Grace Carlson.
My name is Hannah Justice.
My name is Veronica Fox.
My name is Maya Curtis.
My name is Carter Nielsen.
My name is Brady Prindle.
And we are ready to show our skills.
All good stories begin with once upon a time. Since this is a great story, we will start it with once upon an amazing time. So once upon an amazing time, there was a secret fictional planet. It was beautiful and every bit in the free world, and the pretend inhabitants had just realized that there's another universe with an inhabited planet in it. So the leader, Grace, has sent 2 girls, Maya and Sophia, to scout out the new world and left the envious Veronica on their planet to collect data. They'll be joining if they want.
Hello, I see everyone has made it. Is everyone ready?
I'm so nervous. Are you nervous, Maya? I just want to get this over with as fast as possible, Sophia.
These 2 actually get to go on the mission. How many times do I have to tell you? Maya and Sophia, please get ready for takeoff. You'll be sorry. Veronica, I have to use the bathroom. Hold down the fort for a second. I wonder what damage I can do. Grace will not to mess with me again. She can wait to try to buy myself some more time. I'll go lock Grace in the bathroom. Now I have all the time in the world.
Where's Grace?
I just spoke to her. She wants you to load the pod right now so we can launch as soon as possible.
Are you sure? Maybe I should check with Grace. Let's just load the pod. Whoa, Veronica, what did you do to it?
Goodbye forever.
Ah!
Well, at least we made it to Earth.
Yeah.
Who are you?
We're new in town.
We're
from
the Bermuda Triangle, wherever that is.
Okay, do you know where I am?
Not really. Do you expect us to?
Oh, no, I can teach you guys. But first, why are you wearing?
No reason. They're the height of fashion in the Bermuda Triangle.
Okay, that's it. You obviously know nothing about regular city life, so tell me what's going on.
Well, Maya, no, stop. We live in a secret fantasy world where all the fictional characters have ever lived, and we came out here to scout out your world on our top secret mission, but an evil dictator named Veronica sabotaged our ship, and now we're stuck here forever.
That was supposed to be a secret! Really? I want to help.
Wait, seriously?
Oh yeah, sure. First thing, you see those guys over there stalking you?
What?
I'll just go spy on them.
Okay.
No, Veronica broke all the equipment. Remember back home.
Where did we care?
Brady,
Sorry.
did you manage to get the brain code in your brain?
25, 8, 11, 13, 12, 22.
6, 13, 6.
Natalie, what would you like to order?
We'd like 3 cups of tea, please. So, what do we do now? We listen with this.
Whoa.
It's a hidden transmitter thing, so we can listen on the conversation.
Wow, I can hear everything they're saying.
They're talking about the Packer game last night, whatever that is.
Really?
Whoa, nice time stopping trick.
Let's open the fortune cookie.
Enjoy your food.
Thanks.
Sophia, you did it.
There's no place like home. That's where you want to be. Up in the sky somewhere. One chance to trade, you've got one left to go. In a home for things by the sea. Weird, it's less like a fortune and more like a song.
Weird.
Wait, listen to Carter and Brady. They're going crazy over there.
You'd be successful in the position of real estate? What? That makes no sense. Did you get the code?
No?
It was all your fault.
What? Wait, if we just got a random message, no, they got a random message, and we got this weird code song thing, and our meals were made around the same time,
We probably got the secret message.
let's try to decode it then.
Okay, it's not like anything I've seen before, so it's not a traditional code. It's probably a riddle. So there's no place like home is the first line, so that could mean a way to get home.
Let's go with that.
I think that goes for the second line too, but not the next one, up in the sky somewhere.
Well, wait, the wormhole we traveled through to get here was up in the sky, so maybe this is talking about our ship.
That was destroyed.
Oh, well, scratch that then.
Maybe not. The next line is one chance destroyed, you've got one left to go.
So that could mean it's another ship, but where?
Well, a home for things by the sea is the next line, so that could be a warehouse, and there's a line of warehouses by the bay. I know.
What now?
Each warehouse is on a different street.
Wait, there's something on the back.
Look in the trash can. Okay. This is either really cryptic or really simple.
Let's go with simple.
It's just a bunch of numbers. That's weird.
Wait, didn't you say Brady and Carter spoke in a number code?
Yeah, maybe it's the same code. So we can decode it. Remember, 9 being the most frequent number, so let's assume 9 is E because E is the most common letter. So if my instinct is correct, it begins with M and goes to A and goes then to Z and back to N.
In that case, the message says, gas tank.
Must be on Gas Tank Street.
Go.
As they arrive, they see to find a ship much like this one. Yay, they get to go home, right? Not quite.
Wait, it's another ship.
We're going home.
Woo! Wait, Veronica.
Carter, Brady, what are you guys doing here? What do you want?
They brought the news, babes. They'll get back to a true world right our cost. They have a world together.
Wait just a second.
No way, Carter Brady dumped him in the bay.
No!
Grace?
Now wait just a second. How did you get here? So busting out of the bathroom isn't really hard here. Now let them go before to do something I don't want to do. Okay, what do I have to do? Well, first of all,
Watch out!
Splash. Well, at least someone took a swim in the bay.
let's look at Her Majesty.
Well, then it's settled. I guess we should load the pod.
Goodbye, Hannah. We'll see you next time.
Take a bow.
Hi.
Oh, wow. It works.
Hello.
If you get it too close to the antenna, there's this really loud screeching noise, so. Yes.
It's a little bit of a touchy device.
Good job. Well done.
Did it actually work?
Do you have to make all your masks and all your props, everything?
Yeah, we also have.
And you did it all yourself, right? With no help?
Yeah, we have some
Yeah.
team choice elements as well. Those are basically really important things in the skit that the team chose to incorporate that they think are very good.
Yeah.
I guess one of them is our Chinese restaurant backdrop. This held the disguised character, Veronica. She had her mask on and it kind of just in her face like that when she kneeled there. What we did to,
You're okay.
what we did with this is we found an image online and we enlarged it onto this and we painted it with her awesomeness at drawing Sophia.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's that. This is a spaceship. It's okay.
It's not
still
a
pretty
cheap
cool.
And
This
this
is awesome.
is one of the fortune cookies. I'm not sure which fortune it has inside it.
It is also a team choice element.
We actually baked these, so we spent a day, and they're not that hard to make, but they burn your fingers because you have to take them out when they're burning on, and put them on the edge of a cup.
Yeah, what you do is after you mix the thing, you put like a flat piece of it and you bake it, and then when you take it out, it's still soft. So you put the fortune on it and you fold it in half,
And then you put it
and
on
then
a
you
cup.
take a mug, like a coffee mug, and you bend it around the edge of it, like that.
These masks, Carter and Brady's masks, fun fact, they took a really, really long time to make. So we took
Paper mache.
we took strips of cereal boxes and we put them inside to make like.
And we
the-
measured their faces so it would fit better.
And this is a yogurt cup right here for the snout. And then we paper mache this, and then after the paper mache was dry, we painted it. We found the idea online, on like Pinterest, but
And of course, we added a splash of glitter glue because that makes everything better.
yeah, that was.
Good job, guys.
Thank you.
Well done.
Good job, guys.
We will call back to order here, and we'll get moving on with our consent agenda items.
So I had the consent agenda items, so I'd recommend we approve those.
All right, there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Any community comments? Hearing none, we'll head on to our administrative reports. I guess I'm up first with a legislative update. So I just wanted to update everybody that Mr. Cookta and I last Wednesday were in Madison for the day for the WASB Day at the Capitol. Fairly timely as we were receiving some questions in the community about advocating and meeting with our state legislators, and it's good for people to realize actually how much time we do spend with our state legislators advocating for our schools. But this was a good day. We started out, heard from the Secretary of Administration, from the Walker administration, who laid out the budget and the education part of the budget for us. Then after that, we had a forum with 4 leaders from the Assembly and the Senate, Speaker of the House, the Senate, the Vice Chair of the Education Committee. They were the 2 Republicans, and then on the Democrat side, it was a member of the House Education Committee, Representative Genrich from Green Bay, and then the Senate Minority Leader, Senator Schilling was there, and really talked about the differences in priorities. I think in the end what we learned, and I think what the WASB advocated, that this is probably going to be the first budget in a number of years that they will support. And if it comes to fruition, we're looking at some good increases. I mean, there's some pieces that need to be fixed, obviously. There's a lot of discussion regarding whether you start at a zero-based budget or with the governor's budget, but the WASB has been fairly, and I think we're hopeful that it passes as it is as far as the per pupil. And then the rest of the day we spent listening to a candidate debate between Mr. Holt, Dr. Holtz, and Dr. Evers for the DPI secretary, and that was really informative. And then the rest of the day we spent with Senator Harsdorf, and she was, I thought, very, very engaged with us and really took a lot of notes and was really interested in what we had to say. And of course, she's on the Legislative Joint Finance Committee, so she has a lot to do with the budget that comes out. One of the things that she wanted and that we should pass along is that with the governor's budget, there will be 2 Joint Finance Committee hearings in our area. One will be in Ellsworth, and the other will be in Spooner coming up in the next couple of weeks. So if you want to go and advocate on behalf of education, that would be a great time to do that. And then we went to Representative Jarko's office, and he wasn't there to meet with us. But we did meet with his aide and discussed a couple of things. But that was it in a nutshell. Anything you wanted to add on that?
That was a good job covering it. Yes.
Okay. Next up is our administrator reports.
Okay, I just wanted to mention that there is a referendum coming up April 4th on Tuesday, 4/4/17. I've done 20 presentations to this point now and have several more coming. There is another public meeting on March 30th at the middle school at 6:30, and I've averaged about 18 to 20 different coffee meetings and sessions with people in the community as well. So that's the big thing that's going on. And I appreciate all the people asking questions, listening. And then the only other thing I want to mention is we had the very unfortunate situation of loss of a staff member, revered teacher and coach, Mr. Marco, a couple of weeks ago. And so that's been devastating, obviously, to the family, but to the school and the community.
Any other administrators have a report or anything other than what you sent us that you want to highlight? Nope. Easy enough. I know Mrs. Meyer has stuff to talk about here in just a sec. So, strategic plan update. Back to you.
Okay, strategic plan update. We have a couple of presentations. I'll just turn it over to Ms. Meyer and Ms. Wesley, whoever's ready first. And I'll just mention that we have 5 committees on the strategic plan, and these are 2 of the 5 committees of Vision 2020 that we've worked on over the past 5 years. Thank you.
Again, I'm just representing my committee, and our committee is on student engagement, so everything we'll be talking about is student engagement. The School District of Amery will improve the learning environment for all students in order to increase student engagement, both socially and academically. And I have some slides. I'm going to go through them quite quickly. I gave everyone a packet of information so that I didn't have to spend much time on it. So the next slide. Okay, we have done extensive surveying of students and feel really good about asking kids what they're feeling about things. We did a student belonging survey, high school focus group, high school scheduling survey, youth risk behavior survey. A survey for belonging was also done at the middle school, and we'll take that information and do our planning around that. We've already started. Strengthening relationships is an area that we talked about in our strategic plan. Lots of nice things going on. Many things in place already, things that we added. But as far as strengthening relationships, want you to know about a few things. For example, we have a mentor program at the high school. We have 2 years of doing a teen issues program at the high school. Our nurse is actively involved in reaching out to families that are having attendance issues, seeing if we can provide support. So many activities to really look at what can we do to reach out to our youth who may be not as engaged as others. The next slide talks about positive behavioral interventions and supports. And this is a real critical piece to building engagement. PBIS is a team-based, systematic approach in teaching behavioral expectations throughout the school. It reinforces the behaviors that we're looking for, and then if kids are not displaying those behaviors, some supports to help teach those kinds of behaviors. Every building in the district is actively engaged in PBIS. They're all at a different level, but feeling very good about that. The other area that we addressed in our strategic plan was looking at our at-risk plan. Several years ago, the school psychologist came and presented the at-risk plan. It's looking at things like guidance, curriculum that addresses respect and values, academics, anything that supports students that may be at risk for learning. There's a state statute that says you must have a plan in place, and now what we're doing is we're really looking at all the things we put in there and asking ourselves which things are done with fidelity and what do we have areas of need that we need to address. So that is an ongoing activity. Attendance is an area that really addresses kids that are at risk. If they don't come to school, we certainly can't engage them. And so our committee looked at the attendance policies. They really felt the administrative team needed to look at that. That's an activity that we'll be looking at this summer and talking about as well. Really wanting consistency in reporting. In your package, you're going to find quite a list of staff development activities that were created throughout the year. And through sustained staff development, we believe that we can help our teachers create better supports and services for kids who are not engaged. We've had a mental health specialist come in every single month and present, and felt that's been a really effective way to reach out to our teaching staff, and we will continue that. We've also opened it up to the community and have had community members attend as well. The next goal is each building will reduce by 7% the number of students showing 3 or more at-risk factors. And where we're at right now, on the next slide, is really some of the buildings have very spelled out systems of collecting that data. So at-risk indicators might be being behind in math, a specific mental health issue that a student might have, or perhaps a family. Being a teen parent, health status, all of those things are risk factors. And when you have a number of risk factors, obviously you're going to be more at risk for not graduating from school. So we're looking at those things so that we can actually come up with a plan on how are we going to reduce that. The next goal was, again, more looking at academic achievement and closing the gaps for struggling students. And we want to decrease that by 7%. And right now we're just looking at our baseline data. I think each building has done a really nice job of collecting baseline data of kids that are struggling. We consider them tier 2 or tier 3 kids. And so we're getting good data. Our next step is to really look at all of those kids and say, how are we doing in increasing and closing that gap? And again, looking at ways to support teachers as far as that's concerned, as far as creating tier 2 and tier 3 interventions. For example, new to the high school this year is Read 180, and that's a nice way to address reading needs at a tier 2 or tier 3 level at the high school. I think Teen Issues fills that gap as well. So there's a number of things that we have already put in place. So, okay. That would be you. I'm looking at it going, not mine.
Okay, I'm going to report on the staff and personnel portion of the strategic plan, and our portion is co-chaired by myself and Jessica Smith, who is a member of our audience tonight, and Mr. Kukta also serves on that committee. So basically, our goal is to create the conditions that will build and maintain high-quality staff and personnel in order to provide excellence in education for our students. So I'm going to report tonight on the portions that we have made progress in. The first portion is the measurable objective number 1. And basically here we're focusing on staff development, staff recognition, and an incentive program to maintain and build highly qualified staff. So the portion of that measurable objective that we have done some work on is we started by creating a committee that would represent all employee groups. So the next slide shows you all of the people representing each of the employee groups that have volunteered to serve on our strategic plan committee. So part of the action plan is to write a mission and vision statement. And so at our first meeting, this is what one of our major focus was. And the committee of people decided that we really liked our present school district vision plan. So we're going to adopt that as part of our strategic plan, Innovate, Lead, and Succeed. And then we spent a lot of time working on the mission statement. And this is a draft statement that when we closed the meeting, we decided to come back and open our next meeting by looking at this and making sure it was what we wanted. But basically, the draft mission is the school district of Amery is committed to high quality, differentiated, and continuous professional learning opportunities that engage and empower staff members to maximize performance and achieve their full potential, resulting in student academic excellence. And what's really neat about this portion of the strategic plan is we are focused on student achievement and excellence. So the second measurable objective is to create and implement a system for staff collaboration, planning, preparation, and feedback. And the administrative team has shared information on this action plan already. But basically what the measurable objective is to study and implement components of professional learning communities within our school system. All 4 buildings have implemented professional learning communities. And I think the pieces of it that I would like you to understand is by creating these groups within every building, we're looking at staff to meet regularly, to share their expertise, to work collaboratively, and improve teaching skills with the end goal of improving academic performance of our students. And so as has been shared in the past, we attended the administrative team attended the PLC Summer Institute in Minneapolis this past summer. The committee came back and we developed a leadership committee in August. That leadership committee helped us train the entire school district staff on PLCs, and then all of the individual buildings have implemented PLCs within their learning environment, which has been just an amazing, positive situation for staff and students. So that's the update on the staff and personnel.
Great. Do we have any questions? I did want to add one piece back to the legislative update. Just to one thing that I forgot to mention is that there have been a lot of questions in the community, even recently, about changing the way school financing works and changing the financing, and people saying that they've heard the government rumblings that there's new ways of financing schools coming down, and you may have read that or heard that recently. Zero talk of that. There's nothing currently on any docket about changing school financing. So what we have is what we're going to get at least for the next several years. So as we continue to make our financial plans and those types of things, anybody that's hanging their hook on the state trying to change the school financing is going to find their hat on the floor real quick, because it's not going to happen. So, okay, now we can move on to back at you.
Okay. So the Achievement Gap Performance basically is the old SAGE program. If you remember class size reduction, this is the new name for it, Achievement Gap Performance, or Achievement Gap Reduction. And every year I need to give a winter update on how our students are performing, and then in the spring I have to give another update. So the next slide will show you, basically this is for grades K through 3, and it's tiny, I'm sorry. But basically this column says that we had to establish baseline growth, so what it was that we wanted our students, how we wanted them to grow. Everyone, K2, we are stating that 85% of our students will score at or above the 25th percentile.
Do we set that level?
We set that
okay.
level.
Okay.
Right, and I don't know if you remember, last year was the first year that we did this, and when we set a goal, we felt that the goal was not rigorous enough. So this year
Okay.
we've tried a new angle. And so again, we're shooting for 85% of our students being above the 25th percentile in reading and math. We had to say how we were going to measure that, and this is a new measure for us this year. It's Ames Web assessment for early literacy and for early numeracy. And then we had to say what strategies we're using within AGR. And Amery, we can be proud to say, still has a lot of classrooms under the class size reduction of 1 to 18, one teacher to 18 students. And then we had to say at the end of each semester, how did we do? And so this is probably the important column for you. So in reading in kindergarten, we have 82% of the students that have met the goal thus far, and that was at our winter benchmark in February. In reading in kindergarten, we have 92.1% of our students have met the goal. In mathematics, I'm sorry. Here's first grade reading. We've got 64% of our students at the winter benchmark meeting the goal in reading. In math, we had 83.9% meeting the goal.
Are you comfortable with those numbers on the reading?
I am. Again, I think we could be a little bit more rigorous, but we're kind of learning as we go. This one is, I don't want to say concerning, because when children transition from kindergarten to first grade, they're taking skills and they're putting those skills together to read and to read with fluency. And so that takes us a while. And you remember that by the end of third grade is where we shoot for kids to read and comprehend with fluency.
Is those numbers is that based on all students in that grade, or is it based on?
It's based on all students in that grade.
Okay, so it's not based on the gap.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. All students.
All right.
We work with the gap then in different ways, but this is just an overall picture. Second grade reading, 78.2% have met the goal. In math, 82.2% have met the goal. And then in OR's building, it's a little different because they use a different measure. They use the STAR reading test and STAR math test. So their goal is that 80% of the students tested will show a 0.5 years growth on reading or math. And at this point in time, they have 84% of the students meeting the reading goal and 77% of the students meeting the math goal. And then I will come back again in the spring and I will let you know what the final result is. So, any questions?
No, that's good information.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have a school nutrition report.
All right. So I'm going to start with last year's summer. I started in February, so that was kind of my first big to-do. All right. So I kind of broke it up by what was going on at the school for the summer, because it was the first summer that we provided meals all summer long. So while summer school was in session, we served on average 200 breakfasts and 240 lunch. And then after summer school session was out, it was just swimming lessons where we averaged 70 breakfast and 90 lunch, and then the remainder averaged about the same. So it is helpful when there are events at school going on for the summer food service program. The outcome, the community participation in general wasn't that big, but it was still a positive revenue generating program. The school year programs include the daily breakfast. Right now we are doing a 1-week cycle menu, and those children that qualify for the free or reduced meals, they all get free breakfast. The breakfast prices right now are $150, $155, and $205 for any adults, and averages are on the slide. And then as far as free and reduced qualifying numbers, right now district-wide is 38%, and that was as of February 14th.
What was that percent?
38.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. The school year lunch program, right now we're doing a 5-week cycle. We have some seasonal meals that we rotate out, and I've made some changes to help encourage healthier eating, including a new salad bar at Lean Elementary. So now all schools have salad bars. And then also I want to note the typo for the adult lunch. It isn't $2.05, that's the adult breakfast. Adult meal is $3.75 right now. The state of school nutrition is healthy. The revenue, it pretty much doubled our beginning balance of 2015. And then the PLE tool, we have to run it every year. That's where we determine if we have to raise those lunch prices. I am looking into applying for an exemption because our Fund 50 account is so healthy, so hopefully that's the route we'll take. Any questions?
Stacy, could I just take a moment to thank you for the great work that you've done and also to introduce you. Stacy Nelson is our Director of School Nutrition, and she's been working in the district about a year now. I don't think you said your name at the beginning, so I wanted to get that out there. Also, just great job with the summer school program and year-round. I want to mention, too, that fund balance in Fund 50 is specific to only and only can be used for food service, school nutrition programs, and that is something that we are looking at, upgrading different things within our school nutrition program.
Including better quality food.
Yes. Great. Thanks.
Thank you for your good job. Next, the clubhouse.
Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Nina Hutton, Director of Clubhouse Child Care.
I'm Anjanette Osro, Before and After School Lead and Summer Day Camp Director.
So it's been a very busy year. Right now, current enrollments, we have 7 infants, 4 on the wait list, 8 1-year-olds, 11 2-year-olds, 23 3-year-olds, 14 children aged 2 and over on our wait list. And with TLC closing in June, that wait list I'm expecting to get even bigger. We do have a 1-year wait list still, but thanks to Cheryl Meyer being willing to share a classroom with us for the summer, we are going to use one of their open 4K classrooms and move one of my teachers into it, and she will be able to take an additional 17 3-year-olds, so which allows me to then provide coverage for even more 2-year-olds and that. So we'll be able to meet the needs of our community in that way. So, but again, it's a temporary solution for a permanent problem. But I just wanted you to see some of the lesson plans. The teachers do create weekly lesson plans. This is for a toddler room. We're working on social emotional skills, even with the 1s and 2s. They do art and music every day, science, math, sensory, literature, circle time. They do goals and assessments.
That
oh
helps.
boy. Yeah.
Some of us are getting a little old. Keith couldn't see
I know,
it.
I'm close enough now that I can kind of see it. This was for Honesty's 1-year-old room, I believe. And yeah, they're gross and fine motor. They're peeling tape. They're doing overs and unders. We're really concentrating, though, heavily on the social emotional. You'll see working on gentle touches, using manners. So.
No hitting and saying please, in other words.
Yes, and no hitting and just saying, oh, sorry. So, yeah. This one is, you can see this is a lesson plan for the children who will be entering 4K next year. It's much more involved. And again, we're doing goals and assessments also. They're naming your feelings. We're doing a second step social and emotional curriculum that Cheryl Wesley helped us to get. So we're trying to make sure that they'll be ready for 4K. This is just some fun learning through play. The 1-year-old's doing some sensory exploration, and one of our little guys exploring the ball pit. We send out surveys every year, and I just thought it'd be nice to share some of our results from last year. All of the respondents felt their children were safe at Clubhouse. They all felt staff relate and interact well with their children. Felt their children were in nurturing environments, but they did cite that the main area for improvement was in our lack of gross motor space in classroom space for all the age groups. And my favorite quote was from a parent. I love Clubhouse. There's flexible, caring staff, fun activities, and I know my children are in a nurturing environment. So that's really great to hear. We're still partnering with second grade. They're reading to our kids 3 or 4 days a week on average to the 3-year-olds. The public library, Miss Risk comes in at least once a month. It does story time right there for our kids. So we're getting those partnerships out there. 14 children are from outside the district, which I thought was a pretty great fact. 12 of those I know plan to open enroll. We continue to have the 1-year wait list. We've maintained our 3-star Young Star rating, and we cannot achieve a 4-star due to lack of space, both for mainly for the before and after school program. The new wage scale did go into effect. Very happy staff over there. The tuition increase starts April 1st. I sent out more parent surveys, went out March 17th, and I'll share all those results with the Jim, and then hopefully he can share them with you. But again, our main area of concern is lack of gym or play space during bad weather, because our kids, if there's gymnastics in the gym after school or that, our little ones don't have anywhere they can go if it's below 0 or raining. But we have an amazing team. And this is Mrs. Osserow's turn.
So for our before and after school enrollment, we currently have 143 kids registered, and that's for this school year. 107 of those are actually active, coming either before or after or both. 83 are elementary and 24 are intermediate. We average about 30 students before school, and we have both schools at Leon Elementary in the morning, and then we bus the intermediate kids over. And then after school, we average about 70 students, and we do have 2 sites, one at the elementary school, one at the intermediate school, and the intermediate school kids, after an hour, come and join us at the elementary school once our initial wave has kind of headed home. And the Clubhouse, big news, is in its 10th year, so kind of a big deal. We've made it 10 years. Wow. Yes. Yes. So we also have partnered with Miss Riss at the library. Here she is with our intermediate kids doing some Mad Libs. And on non-school days, we try to keep the kids busy. This is one of our fun activities. The kids love to cook, so we do a couple days each year called Kids in the Kitchen. And they get to make a full-size pizza to bring home and some sort of a dessert. Yes. So for our summer day camp, last year, these are based on last year, we had 92 students enrolled. This year we're hoping that we'll probably bring that up to 100 and then cap it. We do usually have to cut it off. And also, like Nina mentioned, 13 of those students were not enrolled in Amery School District. So this is a community-wide program. We're really meeting the needs. And we average about 50 to 60 students per day. And this is going to be our 9th year. And you can see we get to do fun trips. We went to Sea Life Aquarium and saw the stingray exhibit. We like to tour kind of area, I don't want to say out of the way, but maybe do things that kids wouldn't normally do. So the past couple of years, we've been going to Casey's Berries in New Richmond. And the owner there is very generous and lets each of our kids pick a pint of berries. He explains the process, and then they get to bring them home. And then we also went to Crystal Cave, had a tour, and the kids got to mine for gems there. So try to keep them active.
And so that, sums up the summer program. I know Anjanette will plan some pretty great things again. And like she said, we're hoping to take at least 100 kiddos. So it should be great. Any questions?
I'd just like to mention that Ms. Hutton and I have talked about the lesson plans, and I want to give my appreciation to Ms. Wesley and Ms. Meyer for their assistance, as well as our food service, our great nutrition staff, Miss Barry, and as well as Miss Nelson. So this is not just a child care drop-off place. This is a great learning environment, and we're really proud of the before and after school program Miss Osserow runs, as well as our Clubhouse program. Thank you for the great work.
Yeah, I think we can say when we're out talking in the district, especially younger families, it is probably the most talked about portion of our district. So, and that's in a good way, you know. So it's a great open door to get people in and show them, you know, what we can do, and it just tons of credit to you and the staffs that you work with.
Thank you.
Okay. Policy revisions, informational items. First readings, Mr. Cook.
Okay, these are first readings of policies that we brought forward to review. The first being Policy 760, unpaid meal charges. And Ms. Nelson is here. She had done the brunt of the work on this along with our administrative team. And I guess you don't have to, we've got it as a first reading so the board can review them. And then the next policy is district wellness policy. And again, that was also led by Ms. Nelson as the district co-chair of the wellness committee. And there are some federal guidelines that had to be updated, and I appreciate all of her work on these policies.
Those are both revisions, right? They're not, neither of them are new. Okay.
Yeah, so I'll just
Oh, the
mention,
point one
I'll just
is-
mention on the
yeah.
mic, yeah, the 760.1
Yeah.
is actually a new portion
It's all
of
part
that,
of the, yeah, right.
of that policy.
Okay.
So these are just first readings, and then they'll come forward next week for action.
Next month.
Or next month, yep.
Any questions on that? Anybody? Great. Okay, we can move on to our action items. Youth options for next year, Mr. Derfler.
Here tonight on behalf of 2 students who want to do youth options in the fall, so as their first semester of their senior year. 2 students taking 30 credits at WITC in Richmond.
Okay, can I take a motion to accept them?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussions? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that's done.
Thank you.
Next, school start date resolutions. So I hope you had a chance to look at that. There are there's 2 bills, one in the Assembly and one in the House right now, or one in the Assembly and one in the Senate right now, that would restore local control to school boards. A number of years ago, you all know that the state legislature imposed a September 1st start date on public schools, that you can't start school later than that, and there are currently 2 bills out there that would remove that.
Earlier than that.
That would allow us to start earlier, yeah, sorry. And not force you to start earlier, but actually allow school districts to determine when they want to start school, whether they want to have flexible scheduling, or alternative flexible scheduling, whether they want to do any of those types of things. I will tell you, in our area, Senator Harsdorf is a co-sponsor of the Senate portion of the bill. I will tell you that Representative Jarko is very non-committal. And the problem is there's a significant lobby from the tourism industry and that want to force this on schools, to which we said to the Speaker of the, or to the Chair of the Joint Finance, is nobody's stopping heavy laden schools of tourist areas from starting after September 1st. But to hold everybody accountable to the Wisconsin Dells, which is really where this is coming from, is dumb. So what we're doing is asking our representative. Well, it is. You know, you call a spade a spade.
How do you
it's
really
just
feel
dumb.
about it?
I got no problem with that. The
Therapy for them.
huh? What, to call people dumb? Just legislation is dumb. So whether or not it's going to pass, I think, is kind of up in the air at this point in time. Again, Senator Harsdorf has long been a proponent of this, so hopefully we can get something out of it. So this would just go to our legislators. You want to ask?
What we're doing now with the summer school and the funding and all that, would that change any of that?
No, we still would have opportunities to do summer school and whatnot. This would just allow us, and one of the arguments, which really just drove me nuts, was, I think it was, whoever it was that said it, goes, well, the only reason the schools want to do this is so that they can be aligned with football. To which I said, who cares what the reason is? It shouldn't be Madison's determination when we start our schools. You know, it's a local decision and local communities. I don't care if it's because they had a tittle. You know, they were saying, well, some places want to start them earlier and later and have different days simply because of festivals and stuff in their towns. Again, who cares? Let the local school districts make the determination when their schools want to start, as long as we follow the laws. So I don't know whether it'll make any difference. The WASB is asking that we pass this, and so am I. So I'll make the motion that we accept that.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? The word dumb is not in that resolution, just for the record. I suppose I could use some of the lessons here about gentle language, couldn't I? Is to support the both pieces of legislation. Yep. Next, resolution authorizing defeasance of portion of the school district's bonds. Mr. Somebody can give us just the quick.
Just real quick, if you remember last fall when you set the levy, we did over levy by 500,000. That 500,000 is actually kind of paying ahead or prepaying on that bond, the 5.920 general obligation bond. It's a prepayment. And so tonight I'm asking you to approve the escrow agreement and then the replacement bonds, which it'll become after we put that 500,000 toward it. So it's the levies have been collected, and now I'm asking you to allow me to move it to the escrow.
Okay. So can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Anybody have any questions or discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, that one carries. Next, the CISA 11 shared services contract. Mr. Cookta.
Actually, all we have is to mention that we're looking at all the same contracted services at this point for next year, and our CISA 11 contracted services last year were just over $44,000 for a district our size. We try to keep that down and meet the needs within our district, but we don't know what the exact number of hours will be for occupational therapy, physical therapy, for hearing impaired, and for all the various services that we do contract for. But we'd like to move forward with the same CISA shared services contract as what we had last year.
Okay, can I get a motion for that?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Anybody want to discuss it? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next, field trip permission, Mr. Fleur.
Tonight on behalf of Madame Rimstedt and the French students who would like to make the French trip in the spring of 2018 for permission to do so. The travel dates are March 24th to April 7th. For those who wish that it would be all covered by spring break, there's no spring break calendar of 14 days that I'm aware of. 2 of the days are covered by a spring break for that calendar year, but no matter where you put spring break, you're going to miss school if it's a 14-day trip. It's highly worthwhile, and we've done it for years and years and years. We're here to ask your approval for that.
Can I get a motion?
I'll make that.
Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? Does this fall in line with the new scheduling that we know?
It does. The new rotation for
Great.
trips, we're right on schedule.
Perfect. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? That one's done.
Thank you.
Next, 2017-2018, is it just a single-year girls' co-op agreement? It's not
Actually,
just a
I'll
single year.
defer to Mr. Gould. It is a 2-year
Hockey
co-op agreement.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so the 2-year, all hockey co-ops are for 2 years unless extenuating circumstances come into play. But every time an application is applied for, it is a 2-year agreement. In this current situation, Somerset is the closest school that hosts a girls' co-op at this time. Other schools involved include New Richmond, Osceola is getting involved, as well as St. Croix Falls. And so that would be the next, Amery would be the next school. So, Mr. Kukta?
I think we can take a motion to accept
the
that.
motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There you go.
Thank you, Mr. Gould.
All right, next I will take a, anybody else have anything? Okay. I can take a motion then to go back to closed session to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility in order to take personnel action pursuant to Wisconsin Statutes 19.851C. We'll probably be in closed session for at least an hour and come out with personnel decisions that will be given to the free press after we're done. Can I get that motion?
Make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Chelsea?
Yes.
Lynn?
Yes.
Dale?
Yes.
Keith?
Yes.
And I vote yes, so we're closed. Thank you, everybody.